Hi again. Let's continue looking at Staunton. I should really give him a lot more credit, basically, because not only he introduced this, fantastic knockout format, which is still sometimes occasionally used today, but not as much as the Swiss tournament format. So in this, it was less and less players each round as they got knocked out. But he founded and edited the first chess magazine in England, called the Chess Players Chronicle. So in 1847, the best-selling Chess Players Chronicle was published, followed by in 1849 the Chess Players Companion. But the greatest contribution is what I mentioned, the Staunton piece set design, which was designed, I think, initially. It was to celebrate his tournament, maybe his this championship. But whatever the motive, it really elevated chess, into much more enjoyable. If you've got much more enjoyable pieces to play with, that makes a difference. I mean, it certainly does to me. If I go to these club matches and there's horrible boards which I don't like, they're streets and unpleasant, I tend to play with less enthusiasm. Clubs in my leagues, please, don't torture me with crappy sets. If we go and visit you, please, just play with the Staunton design. Come on. So anyway, let's look at this how he was knocked out in his own tournament by Adolf Anderssen. So Anderssen was playing white, and Staunton played Sicilian, and we have this sort of d4 as if a Morris Smith gambit is going to be played. Knight f3, but after e6, there wasn't c3, there was actually just knight takes d4. And Howard played bishop c5, which is kind of unusual, but I think still, maybe playable. But White played knight c3, and now a6. So the bishop's going to be tucked potentially on a7. But after bishop e3, bishop a7, according to Ribka, White's actually quite a bit better with just queen g4 here. Queen g4 wasn't played, actually a good alternative. Well, there are rather good alternatives as well. Bishop e2. White just played bishop d3. Now knight e7. And here again, maybe queen g4 is worth a punt. But anyway, White just castled, and after castles, now queen h5. So White's exploiting, the fact that the knight's not on f6, protecting usual h7. So h7 is more vulnerable than usual. And now White just plays e5. Of course, the knight can't take e5, and he's highlighting the weakness of d6. And not only that, f4 and f5 might be dangerous. So there's a ready-made kind of attack now for White building up. So this rook move, allowing the pawn to apparently be taken by the queen, but would that be a disaster? I guess it would be. In fact, bishop takes g6 is the winning move here. So to recapture the queen, otherwise the queen's in pre. So black can't take on e5. He played b5. Really, he's getting done over from the opening here. It's a bit of a shame he wasn't allowed to put up a better fight. So bishop b7, now knight e4. So White collects the light squared bishop because Howard didn't want knight g5 happening. So White's still a lot better. Knight takes c6. Maybe in this position c3 could also be considered. Now g4. Now apparently this is a bit of a rash move according to Ripper. Apparently black could have got the upper hand with just taking on e3 and then playing queen b6. So say queen h3. Now rook ad8. And is White's attack that dangerous? These pawns have a vacuum of weaknesses behind them. So say f5. There's just I wonder, knight takes e5 is too dangerous because f takes, and on h7. But here, e takes, g takes. Now knight takes e5, f6. Black could probably defend with knight g6 and be better here. But Howard didn't do this. He didn't react that well to this aggression. He played rook ad8, and now White gets out of that trouble on the diagonal by playing king h1. On this we actually have the move score written down wrongly, and actually king h1 was played before g4. That would be more sensible. So c5 blocking in that bishop now, so giving White really a free hand for the attack. So the rook comes in behind the queen soon. So h6 now, and now g5, ripping open the lines. Howard desperately sacks the exchange. Check, but this is no good for black. The fortress is being invaded by white's heavy artillery. So check. Now queen g5, getting in on the dark squares. Knight g7, and now Anderssen sacks a pawn to rip open more lines. Bishop h6 is also now going to be threatened. To queen b3, bishop h6. Check. It's all over. Bother shouting, as they say. So after rook g3, no more checks. End of game. So Howard was brutally beaten up there. Let's have a quick review of that game. So this bishop c5 might be novel, but in conjunction with knight e7 it means direct play from white might result, just going for the king. But white, if he did play g4 not king h1, then bishop e3 was a missed opportunity from Howard. So now he just let white just build up this easy attack. The material on the queen side, well, doesn't matter. This is just all over for the black king. Yeah. So f5, the most incisive move actually, and the end of the checks. Okay, and let's keep this neat and keep another video for another game. Please leave any comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.